when I talk to people about what's happening in El Cajon, like the words fractured, fearful come up. And I think also just this feeling that there is some sense of hopelessness.
That's Viveka Ray Mazumdar, an immigration advocate with PANA. El Cajon is a city where nearly a third of all residents are foreign-born, and a Republican mayor eager to support President Donald Trump's mass deportation campaign. In January, Mayor Bill Wells introduced a resolution declaring the city's intent to help the federal government enforce immigration law. The resolution was political theater. The El Cajon Police Department must still obey state sanctuary laws, which prohibit police officers from asking people about their immigration status or helping federal immigration agents. But the mayor's message was clear. El Cajon is either with Trump or against him.
Now, let me tell you what I think is really going on here. I don't think this is about immigration. I don't think this is about racism. This is Trump versus non-Trump. This is progressivism versus conservatism. This is the cultural war that we're involved in right now.
That was Wells at a January city council meeting. At a separate meeting, Councilman Phil Ortiz argued that Trump was only going after violent criminals.
I want to be clear, the people who should be, someone said they're going to be living in fear. The only people that should be living in fear are people who are exploiting and terrorizing our communities that are criminals, whether they're citizens or not.
That rhetoric comes straight out of the Trump administration, saying ICE agents are prioritizing the worst of the worst. But it's becoming increasingly clear that undocumented immigrants without criminal records are getting caught in the deportation machine. Only 23% of the people ICE has arrested in El Cajon so far this year have criminal convictions. That's according to the Deportation Data Project. And the most recent data from the Otay Mesa Detention Center show that 80% of the people being held there have no criminal record. Mariene Branham, founder of a local advocacy group called Latinos en Acción, says the controversial resolution created the impression that local police officers support Trump's immigration policies, that they're enforcing immigration law, even though they're not.
So I just think it's really unfair to have put the police chief in this situation and to put the police officers in this light that they technically didn't deserve.
And the El Cajon police chief, Jeremiah Larson, acknowledges that community trust for the department has taken a hit.
We try and do, a lot of different things to help build the trust back, the trust that has been eroded for certain members of our community.
Larson says part of the problem is that people tend to lump all law enforcement agencies together.
It's hard for some members of the community to see a delineation between federal law enforcement and local law enforcement, or, state and local. Even within the county, it's hard for people to understand there's a difference between San Diego PD and Chula Vista PD and El Cajon PD. Not everyone understands that, and that's okay. It's our job to make sure we communicate that with the public.
Chief Larson says the department recently brought back a community advisory board and will meet with members of the public on a regular basis. Meanwhile, the city council continues to pass pro-Trump resolutions, including one in March, supporting federal legislation introduced by Republicans in Texas trying to weaken state sanctuary laws throughout the country. And ICE continues to increase enforcement in El Cajon, already doubling the number of arrests compared to last year, including a high-profile workplace raid at an industrial paint shop. But Branham and other advocates have their own plans for the city council. Latinos en Acción launched a recall campaign against Councilman Ortiz.
We want to push for a new election. We want people to know who Phil Ortiz is, who he stands with, and if his district is mostly blue but is ignored when they come to these city council meetings, that's the reason why we're pushing for that recall.
The group is currently collecting signatures to force a recall election. They need 3,000 from registered voters in District 4, which is the southern part of El Cajon. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.